Maybe relive the Steve youth and show Annette how to jet ski.
Oh, if they have jet skis for rent, which I'm sure they do.
It's going to be like a...
I don't know if my pregnant wife will be as excited about that as I
tell
am.
her to strap on the back and just hold on for dear life. Hey, babe, I'm going to show you how we ripped the wake back in my day. Was I then and am I still now that poor kid with dirty feet who eats bologna? Are we just doing...
Did you have dirt floors? Take that as a maybe. That's why they're called a mudroom.
I refuse to believe that in a state like Indiana, they don't have a lot of famous sons. Not to be disrespectful to Indiana, but you suck.
Yeah, I mean, you got like Larry Bird and C.J. Johnson. C.G. Johnson.
And Gary, Indiana.
Oh, God.
Not the guy named, but, just as equivalent, a guy named Gary.
Yeah. All right. Back at it. Whew. It's the Steve and Kyle podcast. It is Thursday, July 4th, 2019, the year of our Lord. Happy Independence Day, everybody. Of course, this episode is not coming out for another 5 days.
Hope you had a good and safe Independence Day.
Hope you had a great day. Blowing stuff up, eating hot dogs, watching the Nathan's hot dog eating competition. We were just talking about that before we started recording.
We...
disgusting, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's why it was
riveting.
That's why it was so fascinating when I was pulling up the picture of the female winner, Miki.
Oh, her. Yes, of course,
and,
Miki.
Just like similar to Joey Chestnut, not an obese
Is that
person.
Miki Sudo?
That's the one. Not an obese slob.
Let's see. Images, Miki Sudo. Oh, yeah.
Like she's
lovely.
She looks to be a relatively small Asian woman.
Isn't that crazy that somebody that small can eat that much and just be perfectly fine?
Yeah, and even
because what's his name?
Joey Chestnut.
Not Joey Chestnut, but the
Kobayashi. That's the other one.
He's like a tiny little dude too, and he's ripped, completely ripped. I just assume that everybody that's in a hot dog eating competition is, I mean, no offense, but you're probably going to be a bigger person.
Look like you belong in a hot dog eating competition.
But
it's kind of infuriating though, and I don't know where you stand on this or how your body reacts, Steve, but I was, as I'm wont to do, having a deep discussion with a good friend of mine last night about the problems facing the youth in this country and regarding the fast food industry. And
you mean a casual acquaintance of yours, because we've, as we've chronicled, no good friends.
Oh, no. There's about 4. He's there. He's in the first 4. You, okay. Close acquaintance.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, it's been a decade. We've recorded 150 plus podcasts. We don't want to rush into this friendship here. Is this your...
What if something happens?
Is this your courting process? Like every other... All of your 4 friends, have you recorded podcasts with all of them, but you've passed the certain point, so they're considered friends? Like, what is the cutoff? When do I become friend?
I think you had to get to 200? 15 years.
15 years, okay. So
even if this podcast ended, but we somehow stayed in touch, not going to happen.
Wait, so I've known you since 2010?
It was 2010 I started at the radio show, yeah.
Okay, so we got another...
We're at 9.5 years right now.
Almost 6 years left.
Yeah. Huh. I mean, this podcast isn't lasting that long.
Oh, God, no.
We've
talked about
it's Christmas.
The other day. We said Christmas is most likely the end.
We're shutting the door. You'll know the last episode because you're not going to hear the dancing keys of Kevin MacLeod.
I think you'll still hear the, you'll still hear this, but then it'll slowly fade out at the end, and then you'll just hear a couple seconds of silence, then... as the door closes and locks. Forever.
Because I think we need to, you and I are a touch older. I think we close it with Semisonics closing time.
Podcasting is a young man's game.
See, we're out of it. We're out of touch.
Yeah.
So, I listen, this thing's not making it till Christmas, let alone 6 more years. So if somehow, in a true upset, we stay in touch after this thing ends.
Wait, 6 more years, so that would be 50 episodes a year. So we'd be
sniffing 500.
Yeah, we'd be around the 450, 460. That's crazy. Yeah, that's what
Rogan does. But doesn't Rogan do like 2 a week?
Yeah, I don't know. I think Pardo's way up there too.
Yeah,
right?
but that's part of the doing the 2 a week that you know. But
Pardo's episode numbering system
is dumb.
Is very very deceiving because they'll say it's episode 2117, but what that means is season 21, episode 17.
Yeah.
He hasn't done 2,100, although he's done a lot of episodes.
They do, I think, 50 a year.
Yeah.
50 and they've been doing it for 13 years.
So this is...
So they've been doing it, they're in the 600s and 700, nearing 700s.
So this is our third season, and we're probably about 5 or 6 episodes into our third season. So that means this is episode 306 or 307.
They do 2 seasons a year.
Oh, even better than we're in season 5 right now. This is episode 507. 507. Start the renumbering process now.
But we digress.
Yeah.
As I was talking, I was having a...
How did we get from hot dogs to Jimmy Pardo's?
Really good. Oh, you asked how, what the timing is to become an actual friend.
Let's back it up.
Yeah, you were trying to figure out how long and what the timetable needs to be.
Then how did we get to where we got to?
Yeah. So I was having a discussion about, food and how it affects the youth and how it's different than it was even when we were kids, let alone before that. Whether it's the outside activity or whether it's, the parenting ways and the video games, whatever. And he had a line that sticks with me, and it's not the first time I've heard it, but it's, if I look at a slice of pizza, I gain 5 pounds. Mm-hmm. So you wonder, how does that happen? Where if that happens, because weight can fluctuate like that.
Yeah.
But you got people like Kobayashi and Miki Sudo and Joey Chestnut who consume... 74 hot dogs, 37 hot dogs, 70 hot dogs.
And that's in what?
10 minutes sitting?
10 minutes, right? Okay.
And there's no discernible change. And Joey Chestnut's a special case because he does all the other ones, too. Doesn't he do like chicken wing and mayonnaise? And
well, I've seen it. I read something the other day that he's made over $500,000 from competitive eating.
I don't doubt it.
Just prize money.
I mean, did you know who it was? Or did you know any eating champion before Chestnut and Kobayashi?
No. The only one I had ever heard of was Joey Chestnut, and it was because a radio station in Philadelphia, the sports talk radio station, they used to do, I think they finally stopped doing it, but for like 20 years, it was 610 WIP, which was like the sports station in Philadelphia. It's now 94 WIP, but they did years and years ago. I remember when I was a kid hearing about Wing Bowl. They did the first ever Wing Bowl, and it was a wing eating competition in Philadelphia. And it started out, it was like at a little bar or something, and 50 people showed up, and it was a fun little event. But they made it their own event, and by the time they did the last one, they were selling out the Wells Fargo Center on like a Thursday morning or a Friday morning. They'd get 20,000 people to show up, and they would have a professional wing eating competition. And that was the first time I'd ever heard of Joey Chestnut. Because I'm pretty sure he won that back in the day. But imagine that. Imagine doing a wing eating competition that draws 20,000 people. That's just insane.
The Nathan's one draws a crowd just because it's outside it's on Coney Island, right?
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
And I've never been, Steve. Is that just a big wide open area?
I've never been to Coney Island either.
Okay. Oh, wow. Johnny East Coast over here.
Yeah.
Missing the sights. Didn't take any of your hot dates to the... Is that the fun island? Is that the one where there was like, let's go on a date and there's a Ferris wheel and stuff like that? Is that not Coney Island?
I'm assuming it is. Yeah, I mean, Coney Island is it's just like a big amusement park, boardwalk type atmosphere.
No wonder you were single most of the time over there.
It would have been like 4 hours for me to get there.
A couple bus trips.
Switch a couple times, to hop on the LIE.
Take mix of subway, buses, and scooters.
I couldn't even begin to tell you how to get there. if you had asked.
So it looks like Nathan's has kept somewhat track of their winners since the late 60s and 70s, Steve.
So back in the 60s, late 60s, it was probably a guy that ate like 8 hot dogs or something in 10 minutes.
Well, so they have a record from 1967, but they're claiming that this guy consumed this many over about an hour.
So they didn't time it?
He ate 127.
Ooh, okay.
So this wasn't set in until July 4th until 1979.
So
they would just do it at all different times. So it was Memorial Day. April 7 was one of them.
Okay. And
before they finally got on the schedule. So, 1967, they're claiming that Walter Paul ate 127 hot dogs in about an hour.
Jeez.
But, let's call those records flimsy at best, right?
Yeah, well, it was before the official record keeping was in effect. So
I
don't honor that personally.
So 1972, on Memorial Day, Jason Schechter ate 14 in a random time of 3.5 minutes.
I think I could eat 14 hot dogs in 3.5 minutes.
Oh, Steve. No.
You don't think?
14 in 3.5?
So we're just going...
I could do 14 in 10 minutes.
We're just going like dirty water dogs, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we're not doing grilled, so there's not the snap casing.
Yeah, we can grill
I guess
them.
I don't know how they...
At this point, I would make it easier on you and I, however we would prefer that. So if you prefer a grilled hot dog, we can grill them. It's not going to... I don't think that changes anything about it. I think the idea is that a boiled hot dog is easier to finish, right?
Sure, because it's smooth. Like when you put it on the grill, there's always like the little burnt spot on the edge, and that's going to cause... you don't want to be... Because these guys are barely chewing them. They're essentially like... just shoving them down their gullet.
Yeah,
so you don't want any obstruction on there at all. Any little
so
sharp
charred,
edge. Yeah,
anything like that, you want to avoid that. But taste-wise, for me, because I wouldn't be eating them that way. I can't chug a beer. So let alone I'm not sliding a boiled hot dog with no restrictions.
So 14 in 3.5 minutes?
That's the claim.
Because I bet that, like, how fast do you think you could eat one hot dog, just hot dog bun, standard size?
Would you do it the way that the pros do it, Steve, where you take the dogs and buns and separately?
They dip them in water.
Would you do it that way? I'm not dipping anything in water.
No.
I'm not. I can't do that. Your soggy bread. Can you? That's what you're. Half
it just feels like it would be heavy.
Yeah, and I guess it's easier to eat.
That probably helps it slide down a little quicker.
But I would eat this hot dog like a normal person.
Yeah, me too. I'd probably do, because I would assume I could do 3 bites.
But you got to take time to chew, swallow.
Yeah.
Let's call it 40 seconds, 30 seconds?
I bet 30. So I couldn't do 14.
Should we just maybe this should be a
Are we doing this? Or are we doing
I think we need to do this.
The first annual Steve and Kyle podcast hot dog eating competition?
But I think we need to figure a few things out because I have a feeling we're going to realize 14 3.5 minutes is nowhere near feasible. So I think you and I need to get 1 pack of hot dogs, have like 1, and just see how quick we can consume 1. Because if it's going to be close to a minute, we're wasting our time.
I bet I could do 2 bites now that I think about it. Your standard hot dog, I could do a 2-minute, like a ballpark Frank.
So do you think next week, or by next week, we could videotape
us inhaling hot dogs?
Even just 1 to see. But then, once we realize, hey, we could do this, then we try to do a 10-minute hot dog eating contest.
I could probably eat like 6.
You're going to be just way overwhelmed.
Yeah.
I'm reminded, Steve, of... Now, you and I used to attend the local hockey games in town quite a bit on nights.
Back in our younger, wild single days.
Yep, we neither of us had much to do.
No. It's funny because every now and then on Facebook, the Facebook memories pop up, and I realize, like, I know I never lived a cool, wild lifestyle.
Oh, yeah.
Where I was, like, partying all the time. But I'm surprised at how many times I would post, like, so, anyone going to the hockey game tonight? Let me know. Sure, I'm bored. I felt pathetic.
Most of my Facebook memories are like, oh, another night out. And it was like every Friday.
Yeah.
Every Friday I was out there, and we'd do the same thing, and we'd go to a bar afterwards, and we'd always end up getting pizza or something.
Yep.
But I'm reminded, because I would go there, and it was nights that they would have I think dollar hot dogs
dollar
and dollar
beers.
beers.
Yeah, dollar beers, dollar dogs.
And those are the definition of dirty water dog.
Yes.
The definition.
And, I mean, it was a cheap hot dog.
Yeah.
And it was in a bun that looked like it had been stacked under a bulldozer because it was so flat and so mashed down that, I mean, those things, like, these are the quality of hot dogs that they shoot out of a cannon into the upper deck to give away. It's dollar hot dogs, but they're still making about 97 cents on each hot dog.
They're not struggling by any accounts. And I remember my record, and now granted, this is over the course of a hockey game. I had 12 beers and 10 hot dogs.
So I think we need to come up with our own competition.
Our own version of it, because I think you and I struggling to eat over 10 minutes. And if the problem becomes, too, if we videotape it, it's just audio of you and I chewing and moaning for about 9.5 minutes.
Steve and Kyle's first annual hot dog hockey chug. So we So we have an entire hockey game to eat as many hot dogs and drink as many beers as possible.
So we have to go to a hockey game and do this?
Or watch a hockey game.
Okay.
So from the time the puck drops.
Okay, we're going to have to wait.
Yeah. About 4 months.
Time to train.
Yeah.
It's time. Okay.
Now, I'm sure that if we turned on, do you have like the NHL network or anything?
Yeah, there would absolutely be.
Like an NHL Classics. Like we'll chug beers and drink and eat hot dogs while watching like the 78 series between the Maple Leafs and the Bruins.
So here's what we need then. We need slightly below room temperature plastic cup beer. Mm-hmm. It can't be cold, but it can't be hot. It needs to be that stage where you drink it, you kind of wince, and then you realize. And now listen, I don't want to toot my own horn. I'm going to smoke you. You're out of the beer drinking game.
Yeah, definitely. Beer drinking. I'm going to be crushed on. The only thing that I have going for me is that, because if we're doing the typical light beer like a Bud Light or a Miller Lite like you would get at the hockey game, those are like water. I'm not a huge drinker. Definitely was never like I'm the guy that did the keg stand or chugged the beer, but I could chug a Miller Lite or a Bud Light no problem.
Okay. So I think opening night hockey season opening weekend night of hockey season this year, you'll have a 4-week-old.
Yeah. Great time to go out and get hammered.
I think you and I, we do it at one of our houses, right?
Okay.
Because I don't think going out, we're not going to find dollar hot dogs, and I'm not going to some place that they're going to charge me $4 a hot dog. And, if I ask them, can you just boil it and give me a 8-cent bun?
So we go upstairs. You guys can come over to the house.
Okay.
Take this card table. We'll set it up upstairs in front of the TV.
Sure.
And then we each sit on one end of the table.
Yeah.
We have a camera mounted on top of the TV facing us, so we don't get hit for copyright or anything.
You'd have to be an idiot to stream and get hit with a copyright.
And then we just have, in my mind, I picture a big pot with like a burner underneath it.
No, but not even a burner. Like one of those things that you'd use like at a graduation open house. That would just
the sterno.
Yeah. So we get a sterno underneath a pot of boiled dogs.
I got a better idea. We go to the closest like 7-Eleven or other convenience store. We see if we can get one of their little hot dog treadmills.
Ooh, a roller.
Yeah, where the See, you're in those places all the time for work. So can you see?
I need to see if we can rent a hot dog roller, because I guarantee you that
I bet the place that I rented a flooring nailer from, is it A&B?
Yeah.
Yeah. How much?
Well, I don't even know if we can rent one, because you can buy one for $80.
Perfect. How many hot dogs will that thing fit?
So this one's a 12 dog.
Oh, boy.
We upgrade to $100. We get the 24 hot dog.
We got to do that. Now, how long does it take to cook the average hot dog?
I know it's 1350 watts. Does that help you at all?
That's good.
That's a big wattage output.
That's a fair amount of watts.
In worst comes to worst, if it's not warm enough, you just go run over to the microwave, slap it in there,
or just buy 2 of them.
$200. So when we're done with this, we have 48 hot dog rollers.
Yeah, we'll probably have about 42 hot dogs left over.
110 volts. Okay.
Would you come to this, people who are listening? If If we did this as an event somewhere.
Oh, boy, the Steve and Kyle hot dog beer chug-off. Is that what we called it? Hockey beer chug-off?
The Steve and Kyle podcast first annual hot dog hockey chug. Hot dog hockey chug, yeah.
Hockey hot dog chug? Hot dog chug-off?
Hot dog hockey chug-off. I like it.
Philip, Zach.
I like it.
Nikki. Oh, man, that is opportunities written all over it.
Yeah.
The first annual hockey hot dog chug-off. I
like hot dog hockey chug-off.
So we need to buy our own hot dog roller.
Mm-hmm.
Or, again, old school, a pair of tongs in a boiling pot.
Yeah. Because I think it would be funny, because I'm picturing it, us sitting at opposite ends of the table, and just a massive pot in the middle with a sterno under it. And every time we finish one, you just fish your hand down in there, pull another one out, slap it in a bun.
So, rent a hot dog roller. I'm looking for it in town here, Steve. The hot dog roller grill. Oh, come on. Because that's not a bad idea. Again, we got to go big. Because we only need it for a day. So, which one of us poor suckers is going to be saddled with a 24 hot dog roller that we're never going to use again?
I don't know. That would, something. I'll foot the bill for that, because that'll come in handy for cul-de-sac movie night.
Oh, dear God.
Everyone will love that. Okay, food services. Hold on. Coolers, coffee pots. What's a chafer and a roaster? Griddles and grills? Do you think it would be under griddles and grills?
Maybe?
Let's see.
Man, oh man. So, because I think this is the plan. And I think we make it a big public event. Heat lamps, roasters, food carriers. This local place might not have it, Steve.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it. That's okay, though. Wait, hot dog cookers, AV party rental. Of course, they're probably not in this state.
Yeah, that's
okay. Don't worry. We are gonna figure this out. Opening night of hockey season. It's usually October. I don't know, early October, first or second week.
Let me look, Steve.
It's gonna happen.
The opening night of the NHL season here in 2019. Mm-hmm. Well, in case you're wondering, it'll be the 103rd season of operation, Steve, for the NHL.
My former employer, you mean?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, if you want to. So it opens on, Steve, October the 2nd.
Oh, okay.
Which puts it at a real hopping Wednesday night.
Okay, so what we're going to do is October the 4th.
4th or 5th, yeah.
I don't think I have anything going on.
October 4 or 5 will be the first annual Steve and Kyle hockey beer.
Hot dog hockey chug-off.
Hot dog hockey chug-off. That's easier to say. That's what it is. Yeah. It's done. It's written in stone. The hot dog hockey chug-off at a location to be determined, most likely Steve's house, unless, for whatever reason, anybody's interested in this.
Can we just do it in a random parking lot somewhere?
I think so. Get your stupid inflatable screen you want to use for cul-de-sac movie night.
Yeah, perfect.
Illegally stream a hocky game on there. It just
expedites the whole process.
Could you call up your old boss right now and say, hey, can you give me...
No, he doesn't work there anymore. Or are you talking about my old boss, Gary Bettman?
Whoa!
Yeah.
Well, I'm definitely not talking about your old boss, Jack.
R.I.P. Jack. R.I.P. Terrible. Just awful.
Not fair. That's not a fair joke. I am sorry.
No.
I apologize to Jack's family. That is not okay. I apologize.
That sounds very sincere.
So there it is. So yeah, so this stupid Nathan's thing, I don't think it became a sensation until, 10 years ago, 12 years ago, maybe?
Yeah, I feel like probably sometime around 2000, this became a big thing. And, I mean, it's televised every year. What time is it on today?
I think it's 12 noon.
Oh, so we got just a little over an hour to wrap this thing up.
Yeah, listen, that's not a problem.
We got a lot going on today. I have a massive flooring project that's getting started today. Was out before you got here. I was out picking up some supplies that we need. What do you got going on today? Doing the 4th of July barbecue
meet
thing?
Up with the family and all that fun stuff.
Hanging out by the pool.
Yep. Very outside nice. In sweltering heat.
It is disgustingly hot today. But I said to Annette last night, she's like, oh, it's so gross out. It's going to be nice because we're going to California at the end of the week, and where we're going to be, like in San Francisco, it's a high of like 72 because it's obviously right on the ocean. But when we're in Lake Tahoe, it's supposed to be in the 80s. And she's like, yeah, it's going to be so nice being in San Francisco. Nice cool temperatures. I was like, nope, I am not complaining about hot weather this year.
You can't.
Because we've just had ridiculously awful winters, and I cannot complain about it.
Right.
Because 6 months from now, when it's 4 degrees for the high for the entire week, it's going to be awful.
Yeah, and you're going to be complaining about that.
Why do we do this to ourselves? Who in their right mind would voluntarily live in the Midwest of this country? It's terrible.
My friend in the winter, he lives right by me, and he'll text me, and it's 68 in Scottsdale right now, and they have golf courses.
Yeah.
What am I doing here worrying about a snowplow service?
The thing that kills me is that everyone's always like, oh, but the summers, they're so worth it. No, they're not.
They're hot.
They're fine.
Yeah.
I mean, look, the lakes here, beautiful. Like, second to none.
Sure.
I agree. I think that it's great to go to the beach and we can go up north and do all that fun stuff. But worth it? Nope.
Mm-hmm.
There was remember that stretch that we had like in February or March when the high for every day for about 5 days was like -2? That cancels out everything.
Doesn't matter what comes after that.
Doesn't matter. I don't care if it was 90 the next day. Does not make up for it.
So I need to put a bow on this hot dog eating competition history.
What do we got?
Because I'm looking through the records, right? So because I feel like this wasn't even like televised or known about until the Kobayashi and Chestnut thing started happening. So the years right before that, the numbers, 19 won it in 1998, 21 and a half won it in 1999, and 25 won it in the year 2000.
25 in 10 minutes.
This one was 12 minutes. I don't know why
25
they did
in 12 minutes. And in what year did you say? 2000?
This was 2000.
So from the year 2000, which was not even 20 years ago.
Yep.
They've tripled the amount of hot dogs they eat in slightly less time.
Well, in 1 year, because 2000, Kazutoyo Arai, Japanese, ate 25 in 12 minutes. The year 2001, Kobayashi ate 50.
Jeez.
It doubled in a year.
So he jumped on the scene and just dominated.
But the notes on these on Wikipedia are the best because in 1999, the contest was won by a 317-pound, 50-year-old man from Egg Harbor Township, New Jersey.
Hey, Egg Harbor. How about that?
Footage appeared to show that he actually consumed half of a hot dog before the starting gun was fired.
Oh, boy, big controversy.
Should have been disqualified.
So are they allowed to hold them?
I think so.
Or do they have to, they're all on the plate and then they can't pick them up?
So the year 2000, the contest was won by a 100-pound, 32-year-old mattress salesman from Japan.
That was Kobayashi?
That was Kazutoyo Arai.
Okay.
Another Japanese person was second, consumed 24 hot dogs, and a woman was the third place finisher who consumed 22. 41-year-old locomotive machinist of Maryland was the fourth place finisher.
A locomotive machinist.
And 391-pound. So in 1 year, Steve Kiner went from 317 pounds to 391 pounds.
Okay.
So Steve Kiner's on the downhill.
Well, it depends on which way you look at it. He could be on the upswing, weight-wise.
Finished in the middle of the pack with only 15 hot dogs.
Oh, pathetic.
I feel like I could do 15 in 12 and a half minutes. I really think so.
I definitely
in 12
think
minutes.
Is that our goal?
15 in 12 minutes? Do we want to beat the 391-pound Steve Kiner?
Formerly 317-pound. Now 391 pounds, more likely now dead.
More likely dead, yeah. Is an American competitive eater.
Boy, he better. I hope
he's still on the circuit.
I hope he stepped his game up.
He's still on the circuit. Boy, many competitive eaters use nicknames during contests. One of this guy's nicknames, again, his name is Steven Kiner. Ralph.
That's not a nickname.
No,
that is
it's
simply
just a different
name.
first name.
I'd be like, hey, obviously everyone knows me as Steve, But when it's competitive eating time, call me Tom.
And I'm Kyle. But when I put on the bib for the first annual Steve and Kyle Hot Dog Hockey Chug off, you call me Mitch.
All right. So Mitch and Tom's first annual Hot Dog Hockey Chug Off.
I want another one of those. It's like a boxing poster, where you and I are facing off, and it's like on the right side, Steve,
Steve
in quotes,
Tom,
and then on me on the other side, instead of boxing gloves, we have two hot dogs in our hands, and it's Kyle, Mitch. In a battle of the undefeateds, 0-0 under both of our names.
Yep. Yeah, maybe put our stats on there, like the tail of the tape. Like, what's the hot dog reach from from plate to mouth?
And I'll measure it.
Yeah,
I'll measure
it.
I'll measure the length from when my arm is outstretched comfortably to my mouth, and let everybody know I need that to happen. I absolutely need my face on a hot dog eating competitive poster.
Boy, we are idea men, aren't we?
Listen, nothing comes to fruition. Nothing. At least the way we intend it to. But boy, oh boy, do we have ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, oh boy, do we have ideas. And speaking of which, we never got to, because we got very sidetracked last week, and we'll get to that sidetrack.
Oh, it's with C.G. Johnson talk.
We'll get to that sidetrack here shortly. But we never got a chance to go over the polls, Steve, from...
Oh, sure.
2 episodes ago.
Yeah.
And we need to do that because that was a hot debate.
Mm-hmm.
That was a hot debate going on around here. We decided to string 3 polls together.
So if I remember correctly, it was one about bologna.
Yes.
There was one about... Oh, boy. I honestly don't remember the other 2.
How do you cut your sandwich?
Oh, of course. Triangles or rectangles or other.
And popsicle or creamsicle. As we had the big creamsicle popsicle taste test here on this podcast 2 weeks ago. So my biggest disappointment is seeing some of these results. And now I talked about it.
You should be used to that by now, though.
Yeah,
typically, if it's a me versus you competition in the poll, you pretty much always lose.
That's why I think I need to put the polls up before the episode's released, so that the standard anti-Kyle bias can't rear its ugly, ugly head. Mm-hmm. With the swarms of, as I've affectionately called them, dickheads affecting the polls.
Now, with this one, I don't really think that... I mean, this wasn't a huge competition between us.
No.
I don't think for any of them. Any of them, like popsicle, creamsicle, look, I think I like popsicles better, but I'm not uber passionate about it. And you're kind of the same way. You prefer creamsicles.
I prefer a creamsicle. I feel like it's a bonus because you're getting 2 for 1 there.
Yeah.
You're just getting slightly less, ice.
Right.
And getting a little more, cream.
More cream.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. So that poll, that's the one that disappointed me because I thought for sure people would see the air of the popsicles ways and decide, yes, I do like the cream inside of my popsicle.
Now, maybe I just had a bad experience because I hadn't had a creamsicle in probably 25 years. And then the ones you brought in, not to insult your buying, but they weren't exactly top tier.
And again, I had to go to 2 stores just to find one. I couldn't find creamsicles anywhere.
Okay.
It's ridiculous. And we talked about it, Steve. It's the softening of this world. It's all juice bars and, frozen plant bars. Next thing you know, it's going to be CBD pops.
Yeah, dirt cookies, and nobody wants that.
With actual worms. So in the debate of popsicle, creamsicle, Steve, and I should have had the Facebook results open before I started going through these, but at least on Twitter, and again, you can vote on all of these polls that we put up, and we try to do one of these, at least one of these every week, at Steve and Kyle. That's on Twitter and on Facebook. You can do both the polls there. I don't think we can do polls on Instagram. I think you need to have 10,000 followers.
Yeah, we don't have that.
We're pretty close.
What are we about 9,800 short?
Yeah.
Do we even have 200?
Sure. I think we can round up.
Hey, look at that. I just went to our Facebook page.
Yeah.
You just reached 500 page likes.
Hey,
nice
thank
work.
you, everybody. Now, Facebook, we know we don't really We don't do Facebook as much as we do Twitter. I think that's just ease of access. But I still like to post all the polls there, and I like interacting there. It's just, as we've pointed out, Steve, on a lot of our polls that we've done over the last 6-8 months when we started doing these, sometimes it's interesting to see how the Facebook community will vote and how the Twitter community votes, because obviously there's a pretty standard age gap between those two platforms, and that changes things quite a bit, as we saw in the second and final Throat Goblin tournament of 2019.
Yeah. Never to be done again.
Maybe the last one ever.
But you know exactly what's going to happen next year, next March or April. That's when the groundswell of support will be like, what happened? Why aren't you doing it this year?
Yeah.
I loved it. That was my favorite thing. Yeah?
Yeah.
Why didn't you vote? Why didn't you vote, man? That was a lot of work.
Because it wasn't worth our time.
No, definitely not.
Wasn't worth the time.
That sucked.
Do you? Okay, I
got Team Baloney.
Okay, so I see Facebook for Popsicle and Creamsicle and Twitter. So by a vote of 52% to 48%, with about 290 votes, Steve.
Yeah.
Creamsicle edges out Popsicle 52% to 48%.
That one doesn't surprise me at all. That's where I thought that would land.
I thought it would be higher. I really thought Creamsicle would be higher.
Yeah. Now,
I'm disappointed.
Moving on to the important one. How do you cut your sandwich?
This was important.
Rectangle or diagonal?
And
triangle.
now, again, we didn't have a dog in this fight.
No.
We were just curious because it's done a multitude of ways. Now, on Facebook, they do limit the options I can put, so I couldn't put other on Facebook, so that kind of affected those numbers a little bit.
Now, I did get some clarification from my sister who listened to the podcast.
Oh, good.
Because there was I remember talking about it, how I would always cut mine the opposite of how she would cut hers. So she sent me a text last week. She said, "You're right, my PB&J had to be cut into rectangles. Yours was always triangles. However, a glaring omission was that yours was peanut butter and grape jelly. Mine was, and still is, strawberry jam."
Like exclusively?
I used to do peanut butter and grape jelly, which is weird because that sounds gross right now.
So you wouldn't eat grape jelly right now?
I mean, I would, but I would, by default, I would go strawberry jam now.
Really?
Yeah, like even the Smucker's squeezable.
You're gonna go the strawberry.
Yeah.
No kidding. So you?
Yeah, I can. As somewhere along the line, I converted.
And because I don't care.
I'm
think
sure
they're both fine. And
I'm sure the grape would still be fine, but
and typically I don't like grape. But for jelly on a peanut butter and jelly, I'm fine. I mean, boy, I hate to, beat a dead horse here, but is that the poll question this week? On the 4th of July?
I think so.
Should we string a few together? Because I'm kind of curious what people think.
We should
give
post
us a
them.
full hockey game. Do you think we can eat over or under? What should we put? More or less than 10 hot dogs each? 15? I think 10's a fair number. We're older. 9 years ago, I could see myself eating I ate 12 beers, 10 hot dogs.
Yeah. So So we have to have a number for beers and hot dogs.
Oh boy, so it's 3 polls already.
I bet I could do in a hockey game. I bet I could do 8 hot dogs, 8 beers. I don't think I could do anything more than that.
I think I could.
Now we're talking
12-ounce beer.
12 ounce, but it has to be poured into a
cup. So I guess we can do it out of a can into a cup, but yeah, it has to be in a cup.
Yeah,
12-ounce cup.
Oh boy,
beer.
I don't think I could do. No, who am I kidding?
8 and 8?
I can't do 8 beers. There's no chance.
I could do 10 and 10.
10 and 10. I'm thinking 8 dogs. Hot dogs I'll have no problem with. I like them. As long as I don't eat a lot that day, I can easily polish off 8 hot dogs. I'm even going to put ketchup on some of them.
Whoa!
Because I want to enjoy the first 1 or 2.
So those will be on the polls this week. Do you think we can eat over or under 10 hot dogs apiece and drink over or under? Do you want to just do... I'll do 10. I'll just do 10 and 10.
Yeah.
Do you think we can drink over or under 10 beers apiece? And lastly, grape or strawberry jam.
Yeah. Now, my sister also went on to say, if you guys have a bologna taste test, can you do liverwurst next?
No, never.
I said not a chance.
No, I would rather go eat my own son's vomit than have that.
She said, I used to love liverwurst.
Oh.
I almost bought some the other day to see if it still tasted as good as I remember. To which I said, I can't imagine you'd enjoy that. There's no chance that you... No. All right. Let's... another poll question here. Do you eat liverwurst on a regular basis?
Oh, I know what way that's going.
I don't know. There's a lot of... There's a lot of mongrels who listen to this podcast.
I don't want to put regular basis because I feel like the number who eats liverwurst regularly is non-existent.
Okay, how about, do you eat liverwurst more than 3 times a year?
Okay. Yeah, I'm writing that down. That's why you hear the clacking of my keyboard.
These are all going to be posted today, too. So
yeah, they'll already be up because, again, I'm trying to get rid of the anti-Kyle bias.
Sure. At what point are you...
That's weird. So is this what you feel like at the side gig? Because everybody hates you.
Yeah.
But has that been displaced by the new co-host?
No, everyone loves her.
So you're still the hated one.
I am 100% confident that if we did a poll that said...
I'm from the side gigs.
Yeah, saying who is the most hated, I would get
you.
it. Yeah, I would definitely get it.
Because it was that way back when I was there, but it used to always... I mean, it's the new guy. It's the new guy. But you've now had 2 new guys since you being the new guy.
Yeah. Plus 1 leaving.
Yeah. And you would still come up last.
Yeah, dead last.
But if we did the poll for this podcast,
I'm beloved.
I am never doing that poll.
No, that
will be me.
That was the worst back then because I remember we did 2 polls and it was like, who do you love on the show the most? And I was dead last. And then it was, who do you hate on the show the most? And I was first. So it was like, cool, I won, but not what I wanted to win. Like it wasn't obvious enough after the first poll that they then made me post that second poll.
Boy, that's a real defeating poll to even ask.
I know.
Like, there's no winner.
And
there is a winner, but like, even if you finish second, you're kind of like, oh, I thought I would be like more than so-and-so.
And the worst part is, well, no, it's not the worst part, but one of the bad parts is, back then, since our website was so stupid and clunky, just to post that poll was like a 25-minute ordeal. So I'm like, not only do I know I'm going to lose this poll, but I have to put in a half hour of work to make sure I know I'm going to lose.
Yeah. Man. Yeah, I don't want to do that.
No.
I've heard enough and read enough of the posts and emails that we get. I know how it goes.
Yeah. Do you think there are 2 more hated people that do a podcast together than you and I?
Well, I don't think that blonde Milo Yanta, whatever his name is.
Yiannopoulos.
If he started a podcast with Alex Jones.
Or Hitler.
But other than that...
Milo and Hitler, weekly escapades,
talking hockey beer chug-offs.
Yeah, do you think Alex Jones has ever laughed at something? Like, do you think when he's just sitting around, says like, hey, it'd be kind of funny to do a hot dog beer chug-off?
No, but I feel like it's with all of those people who it seems like they just live and breathe the political climate of today. Whereas,
they're joyless.
Whereas 99% of the population is trying to do their best to get away from that because it's so divisive. And that's why we present to you, how do you cut your sandwich?
I mean...
Is there a better way, Steve, to get away from it all than seeing a poll pop up across your Twitter feed and have to take a step back from the computer and go, what way do I prefer my sandwich cut?
Why argue to divide a nation when you can argue about dividing a sandwich?
And by argue, essentially vote against Kyle about which way.
What side did you fall on that?
I was non-committal. It doesn't. I could go either way.
So even when you were a kid, though, because now obviously I couldn't care less. But when I was a kid, like that's one of those kid things that's really important.
That's weird. I don't even remember.
Yeah,
I don't even remember. But it seems like we're in the minority because looking at these poll results, it is 62% of the audience says they cut it diagonally
on Twitter.
Both. Well,
okay.
You combine both. Yeah, and about 30% have said rectangle, and the other 8%, Steve, or other. And these other people are the ones I have a problem with. Because we asked comment below.
We have some write-ins?
We had some comment below. And so most people, and I get it, thank you for bastardizing a simple question. We're all the same. I'm a grown-up, I don't cut my sandwich.
Yeah.
Thanks. We get it. That's not the point. It's whatever. So most of the replies...
And I would beg to differ, because unless you're making the sandwich yourself, if you go out to eat and get a sandwich, it's always cut.
Yeah.
Like, you never go to a restaurant, order a club sandwich, and they just bring it to you all assembled. It's always cut.
Now, we have listener and friend of the show, Crystal, who won the very first and very last March Madness bracket for the Steve and Kyle podcast.
What did she win?
I think we sent her some garbage, like literal. I don't even think it was garbage merch.
Like this box of garbage.
Like a box we opened.
Okay.
Like one of the tins from your wedding that had candy in it.
Oh, nice.
But no candy. I just sent her the tin.
Right.
I think you threw some of your week, like a banana peel.
Threw some recycling in there.
And then like 2 signatures on a napkin. Like that has some value.
Oh, Crystal, that better be hanging up in your house.
That's a Steve and Kyle prize pack.
Mm-hmm.
So she tweeted in both, and I said, no, we're not here for fence sitters. That's not the way it works.
No, you pick a side.
So she brings up an interesting point, though. She said a fluffernutter, which I believe is marshmallow.
Yeah, it's marshmallow cream.
That's it,
and
right?
Peanut butter.
And peanut butter, okay. Is always diagonal, but others are rectangle.
All right.
That poses the question, do you do different sandwiches different directions?
Well, that poses a whole other question of why are you still eating fluffernutter? No one ever liked fluffernutter. Come on, Crystal, you're a grown woman.
Oh, we have our friends who we were supposed to do exchange podcast hits with them, PTR Radio. Octagon.
Octagon, okay.
Yeah.
Little difficult, probably a little time consuming, and there's not going to be much sandwich left. If you're cutting all those angles, you're losing probably 30% of your sandwich. Yeah.
Matthew Everett said strips, and I told him to leave.
Strips. like a piece of string cheese.
And then another vote by Mallory Plowman: rectangle for regular sandwiches, diagonal for grilled cheese. Now that's another question. Grilled cheese, I always go diagonal. And there's no rhyme or reason for it.
I think, grilled cheese, because at least when I have grilled cheese, it's almost always accompanied by tomato soup.
Oh, of course.
And I think if you go...
You got to dip.
Yeah, if you go triangle, then it's
easier
to dip. Yeah.
Okay.
Completely lost on the obvious notion that once you bite that first corner off,
you're in the same spot you would have been
if the Wild West.
Rectangle.
It's all the same.
So about 62% there said diagonal. And lastly, and for me, the most important question, because this has been a lifelong staple, the question was team bologna.
I didn't scroll. Okay, there we are.
So with a little over 260.
I like how you didn't even, that was just the question. The question was simply team bologna, ? Keeping it simple, not trying to sway it one way or the other.
And this one hurts my feelings a little bit because and this is where
this is not surprising.
This is surprising to me on Facebook because Facebook, I feel like we said, skews a touch older, and I feel like bologna is a kind of an older staple.
Bologna's an old man's game.
So when I see 63% on Facebook say no to Team Bologna, I'm offended because you're not giving bologna the respect it deserves. Okay?
Does it, though?
It absolutely deserves respect. You know what? This has been put off too long. We need the bologna taste test to be official.
Yeah, well, I've been waiting for it the last two times you've been here.
I told you I'm done buying your groceries.
All right. Next time we record, which is going to be in about a week and a half.
Yeah, it is a while, yeah.
Yeah, I'll put, something, I'm going to put it on the shopping list right now.
Annette's going to see it on the shopping.
Yeah.
Why do I need to pick up Oscar Mayer bologna? But no, I simply forgot to get that the last 2 weeks.
Oscar Mayer bologna.
So 63% on Facebook said no to Team Bologna, which is
Wonder Bread.
But Twitter, 52% said yes to Team Bologna.
So you're right then. The tail of the tape is split.
It is. So that comes out to about 55% say no to Team Bologna, and 45% say yes, team bologna. And again, that hurts my feelings. Team bologna, like that is a childhood and adult staple of mine.
I don't think people still eat bologna regularly. Do you? Do you still get it on a regular basis?
Got a package in the fridge right now. Had myself a bologna sandwich less than 1 week ago. Some nice Heinz ketchup. Some white bread. Oh, that's what we're having. We need to try.
Do
this
I have
bologna.
to do ketchup?
Do you want mustard?
No.
You want mayonnaise? You want some cheese?
I would do mayonnaise.
You would do bologna and mayonnaise.
I don't know why, but
this is going to work out.
I think,
because
and honestly, it's not the ketchup on the bologna that grosses me out. Mm-hmm. It's the thought of ketchup on a piece of white bread. I don't know why, but that skeeves me out. It really makes me...
You've got to try a bite with ketchup. Bologna, ketchup,
all right, so maybe I'll do like ketchup on one end.
We got to do the octagon cut.
The octagon cut. Okay.
And this is going to work out great for me because I already know I love bologna. I don't need this taste test. This taste test is for a party of one.
This is just a snack for you.
I'll bring the bologna, Steve.
Do I need to keep it on my list?
No, I'll bring 2 slices of bologna. You get 2 slices of bread. We'll octagon cut it.
Wait, so you only do 1 slice of bologna on your bologna sandwich?
No, 2. Okay. I do 2.
Okay.
So we'll do 2 on the 2 on one.
Oh, I
sandwich.
thought you meant 2 and then we'd split it.
Oh no! Again, I don't need to. I know I'm team bologna. I need to know where.
Now I need to see you eat it too because part of me still thinks that this is all just a ruse.
I'll bring 4 slices of bologna. Do you have ketchup? Do you need me to bring?
We got ketchup.
Okay. I'll bring 4 slices of bologna. You get me 4 pieces of white bread. None of that multi-oat.
No, of course not.
Dirt bread. We're not allowing that.
Okay.
It's white bread, preferably the cheap variety, so when you open the bag, you can feel the bread harden in your hand.
Okay. So I put a small loaf of white bread on the grocery.
And if you want to put parentheses, cheap as possible.
Okay.
That's the way to do it.
As cheap as possible.
And I'm just going to have a full bologna and ketchup sandwich. And over there,
I think you need to bring the whole pack of bologna because what if I happen to like it?
Yeah, that's fine.
And then I'm like, all right.
You think I'm leaving you my bologna then? Is that your thoughts?
No, but I'm also a little grossed out at the thought of you just walking into the house holding 4 pieces of bologna.
Well, I'm not putting them in a bag or anything either. I'm just going to hold them in my hand out the car window as I drive over.
Throw them on the passenger seat on the drive over.
Yeah. Sorry about the dog hair.
Put them in the cup holder or something.
Yeah. No, okay, I'll bring over the pack of bologna.
Okay.
We'll float it. And again, for you, we're octagon cutting it. So we need... I don't think we're going to do all the toppings that people suggested because some people are gross.
What else did they suggest?
Somebody said like peanut butter.
Oh, somebody said pickles too. There's
and
no
you're
chance.
Not a pickle guy.
No chance I'll eat a pickle.
So I think we do a corner with ketchup, a corner with mayonnaise, a corner with mustard.
Oh, we're really getting into this now.
Oh yeah, you're getting at least
mustard.
4 cuts.
I hate you
talking. Hate mustard?
You're talking. I think we've talked about this before. I hate the standard yellow mustard, but I love honey mustard.
Yeah, somebody said so we could do honey mustard.
Okay,
we'll do some. I don't have honey mustard.
Yeah, I don't either.
So add that to the shopping list.
We have yellow mustard upstairs. For the sake of this, I will do yellow mustard, even though I will hate it. So are we now? When you say we'll just put these condiments on the corner, are you talking just in the corner, or are we doing quadrants?
I think we're doing, like I said, I think we cut your sandwich into 4s or 8s or whatever, depending on how many toppings we decide on.
So it's going to be
if we do 4, we're doing one with one plain.
Yeah.
1 ketchup,
1 mayonnaise, 1 mustard.
1 mayonnaise, 1 mustard.
Okay.
Now, we have people, but I think we agree. We can add cheese if you'd like it. I'm not a bologna and cheese man.
No, I think that for the sake of this, we need to have it in its most pure form.
We had a listener, Benny, on Twitter say, minus ketchup, add peanut butter. So, I tell you right now, don't do it.
No.
Those two are not going to mix for you.
Not happening. Although it's the salty and sweet, so I'm assuming it would be all right.
Yeah. It's not for me. I'm tried and true.
Yeah.
Bologna ketchup, bologna and mustard.
Oh, God.
Why are you dreading it? You've never had it. You can't be like, it's gross when you haven't even tasted it. You like hot dogs well enough.
I know. This all makes sense.
Would you prefer it if we rolled it up and put it on a hot dog bun instead of white bread? Which, again, is just thicker white bread.
I don't know. Something about it just makes me a little sick to my stomach.
So that's it. Next week, I'm bringing the pack of bologna. You're going to have some cheap bread. We're going to slap some condiments on there.
Yeah.
And we're gonna again. I don't need to, and the only reason I would
I think you have to though.
The only reason I don't think I'll take a bite, but I feel like we get lost when we're doing eating competitions, and it's just us chewing and nobody's talking.
What are you talking about? That's the best part of this podcast. By the way, my mic's about to fall again.
I'm not surprised. This is why this podcast is ending. I can't endure another Christmas season with this.
No, I'm going to build a new table.
The Tooth Fairy's coming.
The funny thing is, because we're redoing the bedroom upstairs now, and we took out inexplicably the previous owner put in like kitchen cabinets in the bedroom.
Okay,
and there was a countertop that would have, in hindsight, would have worked pretty well.
Well, we have 4 different volunteers who want to either make us a table or help make us a table.
It's just ridiculous.
We have friends of the show.
Who are the 4?
Well, I thought we'd had. I know our friend Chris.
Yeah, Chris definitely.
Chris has offered, and I thought didn't Cy Nolan Ryan Young want to help do something with that or no?
I don't know. I don't remember.
But there was at least and I believe a listener said they commented on one of our Facebook posts that they wanted to offer to build us a table. Right, Steve?
Maybe.
In case you can't hear Steve, is because he had to mute his microphone because in an upset, this tiny sheared piece of metal did not hold on this sturdy folding table that we use for our studio desk. But it's fine. It's fine. This only happens once a week. It's not bad at all, right, Steve?
It's going to be the time that I really get it secured.
So going back to all of our taste lists and our eating that we've done, Steve, you tweeted and you posted that, and this was a pretty universal decision or universal review that we got about when we were doing our popsicle and creamsicle taste test. And we get this a lot, but I feel like popsicle creamsicle was more divisive than the rest. Annette, your popsicle eating was the worst thing I've ever heard in my entire life, and I stopped listening. And knowing Annette, she very well means forever.
Oh, she's done.
That's it. That's it with the podcast, especially in her state where you're pregnant and certain things affect your stomach in different ways. So hearing, slurping and chewing of ice and popsicles, that has a negative effect on some people.
I don't think that we actually did that. I think that was just part of her imagination. Hey, do you want one of these Haribo?
Not at all. Ooh.
Here, go ahead.
You indulging in one of these green, white Haribo frogs? I got a twofer.
Nope. Yeah, there you go. Oh, that sounds good.
Needs to fill up these Haribo frogs last winter.
Boy, I like these.
Not bad.
They're good. And I was a little worried about them.
We're coming around on candy, aren't we? Mm-hmm. Chuck E. Cheese Juniors?
Mm-hmm. Haribo frogs.
I don't know what the hell the flavor's supposed to be. Again, I think I described them as green.
Yeah, it's like a lime. That's good.
Man, oh man. That is delicious. Thank you, Philip, for that. As we are slowly dwindling our candy selection.
Yeah.
The box candy that Nikki sent us went faster than I thought. Well, I guess not faster.
I think the only thing we have left that Nikki sent,
one box of Swedish
one
fish.
box of Swedish fish. Yeah, but our candy supply. Yeah. And please, this is not an invitation to send more.
But I'm not saying no.
But we're. Let's see. We have basically a couple of Andy's mints, a box of Swedish fish, and between 400 and 500 York peppermint patties. One box not even remotely opened.
No, in one of the boxes I had stuffed the ones that our friend Chris Pruitt gave us when he visited us in Van Wert, Ohio. So the 175 advertised on the box was more because I stuffed some more in there. And then we've obviously got 3 boxes of cereal, one that you've dug into. You're waiting to tell me that that horse cereal is good
Cracklin' Oat Bran. All right, if I'm doing the bologna taste test, you're going to have a bowl of Cracklin' Oat Bran,
Fine,
right?
I'll take a few bites of Cracklin' Oat Bran.
You're having a whole bowl of it. I'm having a whole sandwich.
Follow that up, go lick a sugar cube.
I think you're going to be surprised by it.
Cracklin' Oat Bran.
It's a little sweet. It kind of tastes like they're little cookies. Hand me that box.
No chance that Cracklin' Oat Bran.
It is. It's sweet.
Tastes like a cookie.
Go ahead.
No, this is next week's debate.
All right, so I think we need to get to the big news of the week.
Oh my gosh, it's been far too long, and we cannot skip the Fast Five. My brother threatened me under very physical violence yesterday.
Your brother did?
Yeah,
he's not a violent man.
If we skip the Steve,
he was kind of mean to me though.
Steve,
when we were at his house for Memorial Day, he was not polite.
He's broken my foot
at all. Very
he's broken
rude,
my nose.
Rude host. I said to him, "Hey man, your lawn looks great." Because it did. It looked fantastic. It was like the most lush green lawn I've ever seen.
And you're a guy who can spot a good-looking lawn.
To which he replied, "Yeah, what the hell do you know about that?" Jeez, man, I'm just paying you a compliment.
I think the years and months of you calling me, giving him just horrible, hurtful names.
I don't know if that has ever happened.
Just you sitting over there popping off, wild man. There's a couple of 6-shooters in your holster.
Look, let's not lie to each other. He's not a fast man.
Hey.
But he can grow a great lawn.
Hey.
Great lawn.
Yeah. It's a nice lawn. From zero, too. I mean,
from nothing.
Imagine going from 0 to that, and imagine going from 100 to what you have.
He went from 0 to 100 in the same speed that we went from 100 to 0.
Yeah.
There's a person diagonal from us, like just on the one road over, that I don't know what they did, but for some reason about a month and a half ago, their whole front yard was dug up. I don't know if it was like a sewer issue or they were putting in sprinklers or what, but the whole front yard completely dug up. And I saw that guy out there a bunch of times, and he had like dirt dropped off a couple different times, massive truckloads of dirt. Within 4 weeks, he has the most beautiful lawn I've ever seen.
And then you go outside, look at yours.
Yeah.
And realize...
Well, it's been a fun ride.
I gave up.
I think there's a very good chance that next year we hire a company to come out and kill everything.
And just restart it.
And start fresh.
And now you were gaining some ground here recently.
Yeah, we were doing okay. And we actually put down... Annette and her mom put down some more seed in the... Because we had put down... Like, you mix up the topsoil and the seed, and then you put it in where it needs it. Well, we had done that maybe a month ago, but we didn't get enough of it, so we had only done a little bit. So they went and like did the rest of it. Mm-hmm. So where we did put it down, it's come in really good. And
so to recap, you're 38.
Yeah.
Not pregnant.
No.
And the people who went out and tried to save the lawn.
Yeah.
Woman in her 60s.
Yeah.
Pregnant woman.
Yeah.
In heat. Like, yeah, how does that? Okay.
Yeah.
What were you up to?
I was traveling. I was Papa was earning money.
Whoa, big man on campus.
I was in the
Hey, preggers. Get the fertilizer and hit the dead spots, would you?
Look, man. I mean, I was in the exotic locales, like Green Bay, Wisconsin, Albany, New York, the Jersey Shore, Los Angeles. Ever heard of it?
Oh, the city of angels.
The city that never sleeps.
Man, look at you two. Just big and important Steve. And that's why it's that reason we're recording on a Thursday morning.
Is it Thursday? Man, I'm so screwed up on days like the last week because there's been an abnormal amount of traveling.
Yeah. Well, hey, why would you care? Throw the wife out to spread fertilizer in 85, 90-degree heat.
Boy, how hard do you think it really is?
Ask me to co-host on a Thursday.
So
all to accommodate. And this is why this podcast doesn't see another Christmas. It's the Tiny Tim of podcasts.
All right, we'll just wrap this up then. I mean, if the end is inevitable,
the end is inevitable. But we still have one big thing that this podcast has left to do, and this started last week. And everybody listening to this was probably thinking, "Oh, great, another Steve and Kyle pipe dream coming through on the microphones." And it has to do with the invention and the history of the overhead garage door opener. Mm-hmm. So as you heard last week, assuming you didn't turn it off 12 minutes into that nightmare, we researched and went deep dive on the history of the overhead garage door opener.
Don't know why. We were talking about how
we're going to change my garage door.
But how did we get from there to the history of?
Steve, it's a wild river that you and I raft down on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
And sometimes we get spun around in circles and we can't see the waterfall we're about to go careening over.
And that is the history of the mystery.
So as we were talking about this last week, I started sending messages to Hartford City, Indiana. Now,
I think you sent them while we were actually recording.
Yeah. So I sent one to the city itself, followed that up by I started by sending one to the newspaper, the Hartford City News-Times.
Because if anybody would know, it's the papers.
And they never even read the message, let alone replied. So I gave that about 16 hours.
Well, that's probably fairly common because it's a newspaper. So
they're probably monthly. I'm sure they won't be.
No one's in the office
yeah.
until after the first of the month or something.
So I followed that up by actually messaging the city, and the message was exploratory, just saying, "Hey, is there currently a monument where this is?" And I did not tell the city that we would want to place one. I just asked, do you know if there's a plaque or anything that commemorates the home?
By the way, we're still looking for a plaquist or a stone chipper.
And a stone chipper. We need both of them.
Yeah. Maybe you guys can pair up and,
put your name or whatever on the bottom corner.
Yeah,
obviously, a smaller font than Steve and Kyle.
Sure.
And slightly smaller than C.G. Johnson's name itself.
Bonus points if you can stone chip our faces into that stone.
I don't want to donate that to Hartford City. I want to keep that.
All right, you got to make two.
Boy, the demands are growing and our listeners are dwindling. So the city of Hartford City was the first to reply, Steve. Mm-hmm. They got back to me within a few hours. They're going to pass it along to a city councilman who used to work for Overhead Door and now has his own garage door opener company.
So was Overhead Door the name of C.G. Johnson's company?
I don't know. They've done much. I've not gone that deep.
Okay.
It feels like we should.
Probably.
And you'll know why.
Since we're really, protesting and making it a point to get this monument built, we should probably know what we're fighting
And
for.
Listen, you'll find out why we are going to have to actually do a deep dive here in a few minutes because I can't believe what's happening.
Okay.
So I followed that up with a message to the public library in Hartford City. They replied back almost immediately. For his home, no, I don't think so, and they recommended checking with the Blackford County Historical Society.
So your question was, is there a monument to C.G. Johnson?
Yep, same question, copied and pasted the same message. Recommend checking with the Blackford County Historical Society and to see what information they may have to offer you on Overhead Door and C.G. Johnson. So they sent me a link to the website, and I said, thank you. I went to that website, found the Contact Us page, copy and paste the exact same message to our new friend, Steve.
Oh.
Sinuard Castillo.
Ah, Sinuard.
Costello.
How's it spelled?
Castelo.
I think that's Costello.
Costello, you're going. Not Castello? Sinuard, C-A-S.
Oh, C-A-S.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Costello.
Sinuard Costello.
Yeah, 'cause the double L's would be the Y sound, but a single L is just the L sound.
Replied to me after no doubt a hard day of work at the Blackford County Historical Society or whatever it's called.
I would assume that this is what they do. This is probably right in their wheelhouse.
So by the way,
their job is to make sure that people know about the history.
So I'm already stunned because the library has already said for his home, no. So they don't think there's... So as we joked about, and you heard it in the introduction this week, there's not that many famous sons.
No.
And while you might, listen, this isn't earth-shattering, but it's something everybody has. And it was developed in Hartford City, Indiana. You don't need to make room for a monument or a public bench to, a guy who sewed one of the first, pillowcases. It's the same.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm stunned that there's not already something. So already my interest is piqued. Right? Mm-hmm. So I copy and paste a very similar message. I add on, if there's not a current plaque or monument, we would love to provide one and come visit. And that's where
our plaquist
and stone chipper friends
yeah.
come in. And I feel like we may have overextended our wheelhouse. Now, we happen to know people in a lot of fields.
How
randomly.
Oh, wait a minute. You know something? I know somebody who could do it. Wouldn't be stone, but I could get a nice piece of wood, outdoor quality, so it holds up to the elements, and they have a laser that they could laser etch whatever we want on there, and then I could coat it in some polyurethane.
If we're doing that, I think we just need to make a whole bench.
A bench? Oh, boy, the C.G. Johnson bench.
Listen,
and make the bench look like an overhead door that has been rolled in on itself.
That's a lot of expertise.
Wait a minute.
This is like
bench made out of an old garage door.
Like a 6-year-old's imagination.
It's a long bench.
Yeah, 8 feet minimum, right? Isn't that the standard?
Yeah.
For a single?
Yeah. 9. I think 9, actually.
A 9-foot bench.
And 7 feet tall. That's a big bench.
That might work. You'd have to go feet back. So it'd be if you're sitting behind your feet. And then the seat side, and then it might still be 4 feet high in the back, so you can't see,
Yeah.
Okay, because I feel like there's only 3 real types of things you can do to commemorate somebody. You either plant a tree, you get a public bench, or your standard plaque and marker.
Hold on. New idea. I'm sure that there are some kind of public gardens in the area. What do you need? What does every garden need?
A garage door?
A way to get in. And I think we put up a garage door.
Wait a minute. I'm joking.
Yeah.
You want a door at the public gardens, a garage door to commemorate the birthplace of the inventor of the overhead garage door opener himself, C.G. Johnson.
Damn right I do.
So we've got options, is what we're saying. Maybe we'll leave the design work and ideas for the commemoration to the city.
I'm even willing to foot the bill for this, or at least some of the bill.
I'll foot some of the bill for some of these cockamamie ideas that'll never come to fruition because I know I won't have to cut a check. Because I know
do we need to buy a Johnson door to build it out of, or can I just go to
hang on, Steve.
Can I go to Home Depot and just get a cheapy one?
Hang on.
What do you got?
As a trade-off for bringing this to the public light, what do you think the odds are I could get a door out of this deal?
Oh boy.
And we're saving ourselves.
So
myself. This is hundreds of dollars on this investment.
So this is all an elaborate hoax.
Listen, you work in radio. You know how barter works.
Yeah.
We're bringing attention to the public plight that is the lack of recognition for C.G. Johnson, one of the world's, as I said it, better than Thomas Edison, greatest inventors.
You don't have to convince me.
The least you can do is ship me a door.
You do not have to convince me.
So I sent the Historical Society or Historical Museum of Blackford County, Indiana, that message. And our new friend, Senor Costello, replies, "We shall need to do a little research on C.G. Johnson's home."
Now, does that mean that he's going to? Or
I don't know.
Or is that just one of those
I don't live there, Senor. This feels like it's on you.
Is that just one of those generic, yeah, we should look into that?
Normally I would write it off, but this Senor's message feels legitimately like he's interested. He's now interested. He's involved in this story because he follows up.
Poor Senor has been sitting at his desk at the museum or wherever he works. Just oh God, someone just give me something mildly interesting instead of just stacking books and moving papers around.
Well, you look what happened when the last guy who stacked books didn't have enough to do.
Are you insinuating?
No, Steve. How dare you take my words out of my mouth that I didn't say? I feel like Sineward is sitting there.
Fantastic,
I feel like Sineward is on board.
So good.
Thank you, Philip, for the care pack. Thank you to everybody who sends us candy and food. As Steve said, the food has dwindled as we consume it on a weekly basis.
No, please no.
I feel like Sineward is tired of dealing with nothing but those fourth grade field trips that the kids don't care.
Yeah. This is
so this message was a nice retreat for him
because Sineward's working in the museum.
Yeah.
And these kids are coming in day after day. Where are the dinosaurs?
Yeah.
Well, children, we don't have dinosaurs here. We're a boring museum of papers and books.
Yeah, I have the first home in Blackford County, Indiana, a replica scale. Cool, and kids don't want to be there.
No.
So I feel like Sineward, this was a nice retreat for Sineward because, and I have no doubt that he rattled this off from memory, what I'm about to read you.
Okay. He's stretching his legs now. He's just showing off.
Yeah, he is. Nothing has been marked regarding it, but we do need to do that and would very much enjoy your visit.
What?
Steve, this is happening.
Was that an invitation?
That's an invitation for us to come down there for a ceremony commemorating a plaque at the childhood home of C.G. Johnson, the creator of the overhead garage door opener, attended by more Steve and Kyle listeners than people who care.
I am so excited about this because I genuinely think that if this happens, not only will there be a C.G. Johnson Day, we're getting keys to the city.
I am not leaving Hartford City, Indiana, until I have a key to the city. And I don't want one of those. I want a key that actually works.
Yeah, I want a big key.
Like for whatever.
I want a key that works in a garage door.
Oh my God. Okay. I got to email Sineward back because we have demands.
Give him our list of demands.
So it seems like this is like we've already made more headway with 3 messages than we did in 3 months of work to record one podcast in Van Wert, Ohio. Our follow-ups, we're recording a podcast in Hartford City. Mm-hmm. There's no doubt about it. The only issue we have is our time frame is rushed 3 times as fast for this.
I'm willing to wait. I'm willing to wait till the spring if this whole thing can come to fruition.
And it might take that long. Listen, the wheels of government, Steve, they don't move fast, and that holds true in Blackford County, Indiana.
How about, message Sineward back. Mm-hmm. Say, what are we going to do to grease the skids on this thing? Yeah, I'm going to follow up this week. If I don't hear from him this probably next Monday or Tuesday. Do you think we should maybe ask Sineward to do the research, and then we have him or her on as a guest, so they can reveal some of the tidbits of information that they've gained about C.G. Johnson and Overhead Door Company.
I really feel like we've already isolated enough listeners. So, that seems like a great idea.
Look, you point out a person to me that doesn't want more overhead garage door knowledge, and I'll point out to you an idiot.
That's right. If you're not searching the globe, the corners of the internet, the deep, dark web, if you will, to find more knowledge about the overhead garage door opener, you are an idiot. So I mentioned that it feels like Sineward is in the know on everything because he follows up this message. He continues with an anecdote that again, no doubt, he rattled this off the top of his head.
Yeah.
Father, I don't know if I should have said her name. Maybe we'll bleep that. Worked at Overhead Door. Mm-hmm. And she has tapes of the overhead door going up and down. But never could put it together as to why this overhead door would be going up, then down. Her father died when she was young, so she did not quite understand this until she was older. A good connection here. I will try to check on the house location. Thanks for your interest.
This is incredible.
I emailed
we have a family member.
I woke up when I checked, because I don't check the podcast email a ton. I glance at it because we don't really listen. We have the Google Voice.
We never even give it out.
We have the Google Voice number that we haven't used, but and if we have time today, we'll talk about maybe we'll start using that.
We had a missed call or two from there.
I did see that. Yep. Yeah. And
does that actually ring to your phone?
Nope.
You should set it up so it does. You should set it up so it does.
I don't want to. I don't want it to.
All right, look. If you're going to call 424-30-SK-POD, 424-307-5763, know that we're not going to pick it up.
Yeah, leave a message.
But leave a message.
Yeah, and again, I'm not kidding you. Hopefully we can talk about it here. Well, probably not.
No.
But we do have, something is in the pipe. I think we're going to change things up a little bit here going forward. We'll get to that here. Probably next week we'll give more details. So I replied because I woke up, and this is like, I was like a kid on Christmas morning when I saw this. Somebody actually replied to this email to us. And so I told him, thank you so much. It's a fascinating story. And then I made our intentions clear because I don't want this to fall through the cracks and eventually see, a news clipping that they commemorated the home and we knew nothing about it. So I said, we would love to visit and commemorate the home. Please keep us in the loop and let us know if there's anything we can do. We were thrilled to find the birthplace so close to us.
Yeah.
Oh, so I think you're right. I think we follow up with Sineward. Maybe do a little test drive, get him on, interview him, ask him some questions about how he became to be the Blackford County, Indiana, local
I'm not interested
historian.
I'm interested in garage doors and C.G. Johnson.
And we need to get these tapes, the overhead garage door going up and down.
Can't think of anything that would be more exciting than that.
But I'm not kidding you. This is happening. It feels like already with open arms. This feels like a big hug when you're a kid and you go visit your grandparents. Yeah. That's Hartford City to us right now. They're welcoming us with open arms.
Already.
10 times more than Van Wert ever did.
Already the state of Indiana is at least 50 times better than the state of Ohio.
There's no question. And I apologize to you, state of Indiana. I gave you a bad rap last week on this podcast. Steve and I insulted you, and that was not fair.
No.
Gary, Indiana has productive reasons to exist.
Well, no, Gary is still the worst.
And is there to be traveled through at a fast pace. The rest of you seem lovely.
All right. So, Indiana, your favorite sons are coming home. Steve and Kyle are coming for a visit. We're bringing a plaque. We're nailing it to a tree somewhere.
Yeah.
And we're leaving with a key to the city.
And I will do the proper research because I don't want to just be there in attendance. I'm giving a speech. So I'm not leaving. Two things. I'm not leaving Hartford City without a key to the city, novelty sized, in a commemorative box. And I'm not leaving without giving a speech at the site of the home of the childhood home of C.G. Johnson. I'm giving not a eulogy, a commemoration of this event.
It's a celebration of his life, man. He accomplished so much.
And you better believe it. When this happens, probably next spring, hopefully next spring, I want the listeners there. This podcast will be dead for months, but I want the listeners there.
Yeah.
Former listeners.
Now, the way that I see this all happening is something will go down. There will be a small presentation where a plaque is placed, and it'll be on the news.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably not going to be the lead story. Probably not going to be the middle story.
No.
But I bet it's
or the kicker.
And finally tonight,
yeah,
a plaque was placed at the home of C.G. Johnson. C.G. Johnson from this area and created the overhead garage door company. And then let's go to Martha in the field. Oh, it was a great sight out here, and here's a couple clips from the big presentation.
Yeah.
And they show, hear ye, this is the overhead garage door, blah, blah, blah. And local podcasters Steve and Kyle were in attendance who spearheaded this entire thing. And it cuts to you, well, we're just big fans of history, Martha. We couldn't let this go without being noticed any longer.
Maybe this will be the topic of like one of those morning news visits, by the fun, wacky individual, because I just typed in Hartford City TV news and I did this in Van Wert when we were going to try to get on the news there, but they hated us.
Yeah.
And the first result is the News Times, which, as we found out, is apparently monthly and nobody cares. But the videos, when you search Google, is the local TV stations around with Hartford City in the title. And I feel like they're going to need a little respite, maybe some laughs, or maybe a heartfelt story like you talked about. Because the first 3 stories that show up: video, Hartford City leaders address officer trigger happy video.
Oh boy, officer trigger happy
video. Hartford City employees at center of sexual harassment suit.
All right, 0 for 2.
Video. Hartford City worker caught allegedly getting high on the job.
That's all right. That's no big deal, right?
There's a Facebook page. Okay. Well, sorry. We got to go because there's a Facebook page titled The Voice of Blackford County Community Newspaper. So that's like the local,
the local rag.
The local nickel paper that we get around here that we throw into the garbage can every month.
Never even makes it to the top of my driveway.
We're getting in there. I'm getting in the Voice of Blackford County Community Newspaper.
Uh-huh.
I'm liking their Facebook page right now. And, okay, I'm going to have to message them.
Like their page as our page.
I'll have to figure out how to do that.
Oh, it's real easy. You just click the little 3 dots next to theirs, and one of the options will be to like as
a page. Okay. Because, they updated their cover photo 11 hours ago to a festive 4th of July photo.
Look at that. They're active.
Yeah, and we're talking because I bet you these people are tuned in. These people know, maybe, what's what about Blackford County.
I think we have to set up a group message between us, them, Sinuard.
Get all of us in the loop,
yeah.
And let's we can recap the entire history of Overhead Door. Okay, so this is progressing well. And again, this is progressing already much further than Van Wert ever did.
Yeah.
And I can't wait for the update. So keep your calendars clear for 2020.
The whole year.
The whole year, because we have no updates. Or keep your calendars clear for early August, depending on how quick we can get the wheels of Blackford County government to move.
Something tells me it's not going to be thrown together in a month.
You don't think you got 3 weeks? No. 3,000 people like this page. I think we just need to make a post. I think we need to make a post as our page on there. Say, hey, does anybody know anything about the history or where the childhood home or young adult home of C.G. Johnson is? And then say we would like to place a plaque.
I want to find.
How can we do this?
I mean, do you think it's too much to ask that if there's a current person, if there's a person living in that house, if we could just get them out, get them evicted, maybe because I would imagine that CG created the garage door opener in his garage. So maybe we do, when you walk through the Ben Franklin Museum or something like that, there's plexiglass up and it shows what his workshop looked like back in the day. So maybe there's little trinkets here and a gear or 2 over there and a spring here.
They've posted, we need to get some local celebrities on board. July 1st, this page posted, meet the contestants for Miss Blackford County 2019.
Who is it?
I don't know. There's six women who, maybe we can have them be the voice. Maybe their because all these, they all have their causes. And I want to end world hunger. Mm-hmm. No, I want to commemorate the home of C.G. Johnson.
The garage door opener man.
So, yeah, it looks
all
like...
right. So we're going there. It's just a matter of when.
Yep.
And it's just a matter of how famous we're going to be when we leave.
The 3rd annual.
Do you think that people are going to be, following us out of town? Yeah! You did it!
I want, SpaghettiOs cans hooked up to ropes off the back of our car. Just commemorated.
I want to be a local celebrity in that town, even just for a day.
I want to be welcomed with open arms. I want, a Hartford City tattoo.
I want somebody from Hartford City to get a Stephen Kyle tattoo.
Oh, yeah. Well, and we're going to have to track this because you and I apparently hone in on just markets that don't matter and try to really get listeners there. So we've tackled Van Wert.
Yeah.
And now we're about to tackle Blackford County and more specifically Hartford City.
Hartford City. All right.
Exciting.
There's your update on the biggest thing going on in our lives right now. Definitely nothing bigger going on in my life, that's for sure.
Can't wait.
Yeah, can't wait.
Fast 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Are we actually getting to it?
Yeah. And I'm going to have to ask you to pare yours down. You've been just combining yours week to week.
I think I have.
I don't want to talk about a Fast Five like an item from 14 weeks ago. It's like the Rio Olympics. I'll lead off here, Steve.
Yeah, because I don't even have mine open.
The very first one, Steve. Spider-Man Far From Home.
Oh, boy. You see that?
Wow. It's the hard-hitting analysis you've been missing for 2 to 3 weeks. Women's World Cup.
Oh, it's awesome.
Been following it all?
Yeah, I haven't really watched a ton, but I've seen all the highlights and everything. It's cool to. It's awesome. It's exciting, even though no one cares about soccer. No, the only time we care about soccer is when we're in the World Cup and we're good at it.
Yep. So it's been a while.
Yeah.
Since the last Women's World Cup, actually, would be the last time.
Who is it? Rapinoe. Megan Rapinoe?
Megan Rapinoe?
Yeah.
Megan Rapinoe, Carly Lloyd, Alex Morgan.
Fun fact, my dad taught Carly Lloyd.
Whoa!
Yeah.
How about that?
Uh-huh.
She grew up in Garbage City, Jersey, huh?
She grew up in Delran, New Jersey.
Delran. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Carly Lloyd. Now, she's like the senior on
the
that
elder
team.
statesman.
She subs in later in games as kind of a specialty. This will be her last World Cup.
Yeah.
Kind of the face is Rapinoe and Alex Morgan. Alex Morgan, I feel like, has been in the national women's soccer spotlight for 12 years now. Yeah. After that, Jimmy Carter.
Oh, yeah. He very controversial comments on our current president.
Yeah.
Can't believe him saying such mean things.
Hey, stop it. And again,
what did he call him? Did he call him like an illegitimate president or
something like that? Yeah, said he was elected, illegitimately, stepping into the spotlight. Because Jimmy Carter was never in the spotlight. Even as president, Jimmy Carter wasn't a spotlight guy, and I still don't think he is. I don't think this is a grab at the spotlight. Someone asked him a question. He's an 80-something-year-old man. He should be able to answer it how he feels he can answer it. He's a former president. He's a statesman of this country. He should be able to answer it however he feels. Yeah. Following that, The Office. Did you see the big news with the TV show The Office?
Coming off of Netflix, right?
Yeah, so...
Or is it? Yeah, coming off of Netflix.
Coming off of Netflix. Now, it'll be a year and a half, but we'll talk more about that.
On the turnaround.
And lastly, Steve, I know you were following with bated breath last Sunday night, 6 p.m. sharp, NBA free agency opened. Who are your winners and losers NBA free agency a week ago?
Well, I mean, you'd be crazy not to talk about the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Okay, who's the big? Let's go over the Timberwolves big free agency signings. Very active.
Yeah, sure.
Hot market.
Dougie Duncan.
Well, let me pull up their big signings here, and I'll ask what you think where these players fit in.
Okay,
and you can let me know. Oh wow, they acquired Shabazz Napier and Travion Graham.
Oh, where do they fit in? I think they fit in right in the middle.
You think they're
going to be
starting?
Great? They're going to be great.
That's your sports analysis on NBA free agent. But I think it was the third most money given out in a day in sports free agency history.
Did Kawhi decide yet?
No. As of July 4th. Now, granted, the thinking seems to be it will be today or by today. Where
do you think he's going to go? Is he going to the Lakers?
God, who cares? If he goes to the Lakers, everybody who complained about the Golden State Warriors need to complain about the Lakers because it's the exact same thing with similar or better players, just in a different location. It's the era of the super team, the NBA. I think the NBA offseason, this isn't a hot take, the NBA offseason is a lot better than the NBA season.
I think that's a hot take right there.
No, because I think the last 5 years, people would agree, it's pretty much been, until LeBron left, it was Cavaliers and it was the Warriors. And the Warriors made 5 straight finals. And, they were dethroned twice, but the only reason they were dethroned this year is because 2 of their best 3 players were out with season and possibly career-altering injuries. So the NBA free agency, always the wildest part of the sports offseason. Baseball doesn't have anything like that. Football, nothing really like that. It's just basketball. And people go wild with contracts, and it's all within a few hour span. So that's why they did it live for, cameras to see and follow Sunday night last week for 5-hour special on ESPN.
That's a hot take right there, folks.
Following free agency starting.
Ow.
Before that, The Office.
Ouch, I got burned. Hot take. Ouch.
The Office, leaving Netflix in 2021. Now, The Office is one of, I think they said, the top 5 streamed shows on Netflix.
So are they just putting it on their own?
Yes, so Warner Brothers Media outbid to have this. Now, this happened with Friends last year. The news came out like, hey, January 1st, Friends is off. And then the numbers came out of what Netflix paid to keep Friends, and it was staggering.
Yeah, it was like billions or something. Now, I think that it sucks because we're in this great age of TV. There's so many good shows on TV, and you don't need cable anymore. So many people they just have Netflix, they have Hulu, they have HBO or whatever.
but it's almost just as bad.
It's kind of going to swing back the opposite way now because if you're taking all of the good shows off of the main platforms and just putting them on, now you have to have the NBC whatever all access app that's $6 a month. It's kind of the same thing. So because now instead of paying for all these channels, now I just have to pay for all of these apps. Whereas a couple years ago, it was like if you had Netflix,
you had everything. You're
pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, and then HBO Go or HBO Now or whichever one. But now it's like they're figuring out just a different way to screw us.
Yeah, so the streaming game will be notably changed by this time next spring. This fall, the launching of Disney Plus, so now they are doing a bunch of Marvel original series. They're going to have the Disney movies, from the vault or whatever that you can't find, and they're going to have the Marvel movies, which have been leaving Netflix en masse the last 6 or 8 months as this service begins to ramp up. So that starts this fall. That's a big newcomer because their price point is like $7, which is a lot cheaper than everybody else. And then by, I think, first quarter next year, the going title is going to be called HBO Max, and that's this Warner Brothers Media streaming service that is paying for The Office.
Yeah.
And it's going to have HBO and Cinemax included, as well as things from NBC properties. But that's going to be going for like $16 or $17 a month.
Jeez, it's just ridiculous.
At some point, you're going to start looking at these packages and realizing I'm paying for 6 streaming services for $75 total or $80.
Yeah, and
I'm still paying for the internet.
Yeah,
it's almost better to go back
to cable,
to one of the big cable companies. Yeah. And this was, I think cable did it right. They're like, yeah, sure, go ahead and leave.
Yeah,
and now this streaming market has become too crowded.
It's a pendulum, though. It's just swinging, and at some point, it's going to. Like, it's going to take 10 years, but at some point, it's going to... the market is going to dictate what the perfect mix is between live and streaming.
Yep, and I think it's a good thing for the streaming companies because the day that comes that they decide to crack down on account sharing is where they're going to run into issues. Nobody has their own of everything because there's no need to.
Yeah, because we have our own Netflix and Hulu... But at least, I think you're using our Hulu.
Yep.
I know Annette's parents are using our Netflix. We're using somebody else's HBO. So
it works that way, and I know we have people on our Netflix and our HBO, I think. But either way, if they crack down on that, that's when you're going to see people saying, you know what, enough of it.
Right.
It's not worth it anymore. The Office leaving Netflix in 2021 for a $100 million per year deal for the new streaming
company. Do the actors get any of that?
I don't know how residuals work.
Yeah.
I'd be curious, right? Because they have to get paid something because if that episode were to air on television, they would get residuals. And this is, how many streams? Hey, per,
I hope
1,000
they do.
streams.
Man, I hope they make a ton of money. I love that show.
They have to.
I want all those people to be billionaires.
The people I want to be billionaires are the people who, I'm not worried about John Krasinski.
Mm-hmm.
He's married to Emily Blunt,
a
beautiful wife. He's making A Quiet Place, which makes hundreds of millions of dollars. Yeah. He's been in series and movies that are making a ton of money. Jenna Fisher, very well for herself. Obviously,
Stanley.
Steve Carell.
I want Stanley to make a ton of money. Yeah.
I want to make sure those are more than set for life, because they were just as integral to that show as the main characters. Yep. So they have to. The WGA or the Actors Guild or whatever.
Toby's got to make some bank.
Those streaming residuals all have to be lumped into those contracts that they have with the Actors Union. So before that, Jimmy Carter taking some shots at the current president.
Good.
Not a huge surprise. There's animosity, I want to say, every former president and the current president. Everyone.
Yeah, and before that was not something that would happen.
No, because if you go back, Bush Jr. wouldn't endorse.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Obama didn't. Bill Clinton and his wife was his current rival in the last election and said very terrible things.
Mm-hmm.
Reagan's passed away. So, it's Jimmy Carter. And now Jimmy Carter, the most recent and the last president to come out outside of Bush Sr., who also wouldn't endorse. The Bush family was noted. The Bush family was not going to have anything to do with the current president.
Yeah.
Now, Jimmy Carter, the most recent and last surviving president to come out and essentially not voice support for the current president, and essentially anything he's doing, calling him illegitimate, saying he was helped in his election by the Russians, came out and said that directly. So good for him. He doesn't have any reason to hold back. He should be able to say what he wants.
Sure.
Him on his peanut farm building a house somewhere. Somebody finally caught up with old Jimmy. Do you think the Secret Service detail, because Secret Service follows you even after you're done being president?
Yeah, but I don't know. Was that enacted while he was, or was that something that?
Well, I think all former presidents still have a detail.
Okay.
Do you think that's the worst job on the planet because he's just going to build homes, habitat for humanity?
That's got to be the best job on the planet.
Well, it's just boring, though, right?
Yeah, because nobody's taking a shot at Jimmy Carter.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying as a Secret Service agent you want to be in the action, but you go to the, whatever academy to become a Secret Service member, your idea isn't guarding 85-year-old Jimmy Carter with swinging a hammer at a habitat.
Yeah, you're like rushing the president in and out of in and out of hell when
flying
he's going
to overseas meetings and sitting in a corner quietly with your arms in front of your waist, with black sunglasses.
Yeah, not listening, but not listening because you're not allowed to hear stuff.
Yeah, not again having to worry about glucose levels
right
in this geriatric former president. But he came out vocally against the current president. For that, the World Cup, the Women's World Cup, the final will be done by the time this episode is released, Steve.
When is it?
Sunday night, 7 p.m. That is the United States women against, I want to say, the Netherlands.
Ole, 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 ole.
Yeah.
Ole.
Now, I do have a hot take to unleash, but I'm not going to unleash it regarding the Women's World Cup team. Nothing to do with their political stance. I haven't watched a lot. I watched a little bit yesterday, meaning their semifinal match against England. I don't think they're that good. Selfish. I watched England. And again, I am not a soccer guy. I don't understand it that well. But my eye watching it.
Well, I heard that England it looked as though they were dominating.
They passed.
But
yeah.
That I also read that was the U.S.'s strategy was to let them, to relinquish control of the ball for whatever reason. So,
from what I watched, and it was mostly second half, so when I started watching, the United States was up 2-1. The England's passing so much more crisp, clean. Their field, their motion down the field, looks so much better. And I watched the United States women get into the attack zone, right? So they're near the goalkeeper for England, and instead of they had a 3-on-1 onrush against one defender, and instead of passing the soccer ball, one woman tried to pull some matrix and kick it around the defender. And it happened 2 or 3 times, and then just turnovers over there. They looked so sloppy and selfish to me, but they're dominating because their talent is just... The pool that you can pick from for United States women is much more than Europe. Listening to a soccer analyst on a radio show I listened to, he made it seem like Title IX has given the United States a massive advantage for women's soccer and women's sports. But Europe, because Europe shunned women's soccer, they said it was, it's a men's sport, women, whatever, up until about 6 or 8 years ago. And so that gap is much more closed than it was. And maybe by the next World Cup, the United States women won't even be the favorite.
You heard it here first, folks, on this.
Selfish, not great.
On this 4th of July weekend where we celebrate our independence.
Hey.
Kyle sides with the Queen.
Hot takes, no date, Steve. And the hot take biz doesn't stop. Okay? Just because it's the 4th of July. There's other people out there delivering those hot takes. And who would I be if I stop? And lastly, Steve, going to win the weekend far and away. Reviews overwhelmingly positive. Spider-Man, Far From Home.
You see that?
Uh-huh.
Fast five. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, man. After breaking down that movie.
Oh, boy, this is a long one. We got to roll.
Okay, first up on the list, this is plural, not singular, Democratic debates.
Didn't watch 1 second of it. Too many voices. No, chance. Not interested.
I did enjoy the reaction shot of Cory Booker when Beto was speaking in Spanish.
Important to note, 17 months away from the election.
Yeah, so it's right down the road.
Yep.
Right
so
down
20 voices screaming at each other over 2 nights. I'm all set. I'll wait till it gets pared down.
Next up, Stranger Things. This weekend, right?
Trying to talk Katie into skipping going over to the pool and hanging out with family so we could stay inside and binge. It happened today. It released this morning, midnight. Reviews are supposed to be the best season yet. Can't wait to watch it.
So there are people that have already watched all
thing.
10 or 12 episodes.
Yep.
Next up, Jon Stewart. This is a couple weeks old, but we never did get to it.
Yeah, tremendous video of him in front of Congress pleading for medical benefits for 9/11 first responders. Another video came out thereafter of him in the hallway.
They presented him
with a jacket of a firefighter who had passed away.
Yeah.
Outstanding. What an absolute champion for that cause. That shouldn't have to be a cause. That's not a cause you need to, quote, get behind. That's simply something that needs to be done without lobbying every time it's necessary.
Boy, if there's something that really makes me hate the political structure that it is here in the United States, it's something like that, where you're watching him plead with people who didn't even have the courtesy to show up to listen, and to, as he very eloquently put, do your job. Like, oh, it's hard? Well, that's what you're there for. That's why you're sitting in that seat.
It's crazy that
do your job.
Again, crazy has to be even a discussion.
Up next, the Dominican Republic. What the hell is going on?
Listen, it's not just sharks anymore.
It's the liquor?
Now you have to worry about whatever's causing deaths. But not like immediate. You're not dying. It's like, I flew back and 2 days later died.
Yeah, it's like a relatively slow, painful death, it seems like.
Yeah, so...
But also quick.
Maybe, not that was in the cards for me anyway, as I'm terrified to fly and terrified of flying over oceans like that. No, thank you. I think it's probably better to just skip or postpone your Dominican Republic trip right now.
And finally on the list, Robert Pattinson. Now, I need to follow along with this because this is your wheelhouse.
Yeah, the superhero wheelhouse.
New Batman movie coming out in, I'm assuming,
2021.
2021.
Or 2020. Could be either.
They originally said Robert Pattinson, famous for his role in
Twilight.
In Twilight. He is like a vampire, right?
Yep.
He was selected to play Batman, to much dismay from people who are fans. I guess I saw a lot of people were very upset that he was selected, and then days later, like 3 days later, he backed out.
Oh, I did not hear that.
Yeah, he backed out because he said, like, they were like, oh, there's a scheduling conflict. He's going to be doing this movie then.
Oh, I had not heard that. Last I'd heard is that Robert Pattinson was still going to be Batman.
No, I thought that, unless I misread that on numerous places.
And, Googling Robert Pattinson Batman only shows results about casting for Robert Pattinson's Batman. Rumor Vanessa Kirby wanted for Catwoman in Robert Pattinson's Batman. Robert Pattinson's Batman reportedly goes into pre-production. This is as of 2 days ago.
This is, okay, then from June 22nd, Batman actor Robert Pattinson drops out of movie due to scheduling conflict.
Are you on, like, fakecomicbook.com, or where are you at?
Comicbook.com/DC.
As of July 2nd, Matt Reeves' The Batman is really starting to shape up after a delay. While plot details are being kept under wraps, we do know that Robert Pattinson is set to play the world's greatest detective.
Well,
and
that's crazy.
Set to face quite a rogues gallery of villains. The film has moved from script to pre-production.
Well, then why is this a thing?
I don't know.
Because I saw this on numerous sources.
Robert Pattinson Batman, because now the newest rumor is that people want Robert Pattinson to be the new Bond.
Huh. Because it said that he...
Steve, I'm reading the article. I'd beg of you to read the headline one more time. That is misleading, the headline.
Batman actor Robert Pattinson drops out of movie due to scheduling conflict.
Nowhere does it say he dropped out of Batman.
Oh!
He's dropping out of a different movie to do Batman.
Oh, look at that. The Batman star will no longer appear in Joanna Hogg's highly anticipated sequel to The Souvenir.
The Souvenir fans are pissed.
That is much different.
It's a touch different. Yeah, Pattinson's in.
Look at that. Pattinson's in, guys.
I think
Pattinson's back in.
I think it falls under the same... Nobody's ever happy whenever they cast anybody for a movie, for a comic book movie.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
Affleck got hate. Christian Bale got hate. People have this certain idea of reading comic books and what they think it should be. It's so hard for weirdos like that to differentiate between, listen, this is a movie. Deal with it. Mm-hmm. He's not going to look like Batman in a comic book because, I mean, it's the same way as the villains. Some of them are, the sizes of skyscrapers. It just doesn't work. So, yeah, I think he'll be fine. people are going to be mad about anything, so I'm interested to see. But I was also interested to see Ben Affleck's version.
Now according to my calculations, Batman, that's a horror movie. It's got a mask. It's got bats. I'm sure that there are things that go bump in the night.
Look at that, Steve. Hang on. You need to save this for your Twitter. That's a hot take.
It is?
That's a hot take. Okay. Batman's a horror movie. Yeah. And if anybody has reasons, you give them those, and then you just refuse to respond after that.
Yeah.
That's how the hot take industry works.
Yeah, maybe block them if they
if
they present
No, Steve, you're in. Welcome aboard.
Hey.
The hot take biz gets
hot take
another...
one. Hot take number one.
Okay, well, that'll be unleashed by the time this episode's released. You need to put that on Twitter.
Okay, on mine or the
whatever you want. Yours
one.
has more reach. More people will be confused by it, but maybe it directs people to Steve and Kyle.
I tweet like once a month.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I tweet about once a week, and it's a retweet of our episode.
I think you need to do it. I think you need to do it on your make your personal Twitter a hot take Twitter.
Okay. All right. I'm in. Okay, before that we had the Dominican Republic. You go in there?
Never.
Me?
Not interested.
Not so much. Before that, Jon Stewart. Good job, Jon Stewart.
Yeah, that's again, it's really cool to see, and apparently that cause needs a champion, and someone as vocal as him and able to do that
seems
is
passionate
good
too.
to
He
have.
seems like he doesn't strike me as guy who's doing it because he knows it's good for his public image.
He wants to do it now. He's a native New Yorker, I believe.
Yeah,
and the Daily Show filmed and taped in New York, and he was the host, wasn't he? Mm-hmm. Or was that show around in 2001? Was it? It may have been Kilborn doing it.
Yeah, it might have been because Kilborn did it for a couple seasons.
But Stewart was there in that era, and so listen, it's a cause near and dear to him. He's not exactly in the public light right now, and that's by his own choice. So he comes out to go to Congress to do this and to shame Congress like he did. That was a tremendous showing by him.
Let's see, Daily Show with okay, so it was Kilborn 96 to 98, then Stewart 99 to 2015.
So he was doing the show during 9/11.
Yeah.
And so
yeah, definitely. Because I remember watching clips of that episode.
Yeah.
Before that, Stranger Things dropped today.
It's supposed to be the best season of all three, Steve. It's going to be interesting because we're at the point now where they took a long time between seasons 1 and 2. No, 1 and 2 was about a year, but 2 and 3 is about a year and a half. Mm-hmm. We're going to run into that issue now with child actors.
Yeah.
Where they're going to start looking way too old.
Yeah.
So I believe there is a season 4, and season 4 I think is supposed to be the last season.
The final one.
They're going to be like 20, 22.
Right.
And they're going to try to make them look like
they're 13.
Middle schoolers.
Yeah.
So, we're entering that phase that all of these franchises run into. But it's supposed to be the best ever. I can't wait to watch it. You're a fan, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Can't wait to watch it.
Yep. And finally, the Democratic debates.
Ugh.
How many of them were there? There were 2.
2 nights in a row, 10 debaters each night. How about you talk to me in 2020?
Yeah, that would be nice. At least wait until the year of the election.
It happened in June of 2019. Again, that's 17 months away from the election. Now, I get it. There's 25 Democratic entrants. You need to pare that down, and a debate is the best way to get those opinions out. But, boy, 2 nights of 10... Yeesh.
Yeah, it's
not a great way to do it.
A bit much. Hey, look at that. Regular length episode. We did it. And the Fast Five.
Oh, it felt like an eternity.
Sure did. Sure did indeed. Well, hey, I hope everybody had a good 4th of July. Nice long weekend. Some hot dogs. We got the Steve and Kyle.
Hockey beer chug off.
Hot dog hockey chug off.
Hot dog hockey chug off. Yep.
Coming up October 4th. We got the big garage door trip. Coming spring 2020.
This is the dumbest podcast ever.
Download, subscribe, and review the show on iTunes, the Apple Podcast app, Google Play, TuneIn, Stitcher, YouTube, Libsyn, Spotify, Radio.com, and iHeartRadio. Call or text 424-30-SK-POD, 424-307-5763. If you're calling, leave a message, because it doesn't actually ring to any phone. And you can follow us on all social media at Steve and Kyle. Again, hopefully you had a good 4th of July and a good week ahead. We'll talk to you next time.